because you guys, you're always asking me about free agents, right? And I always tell you the same thing. I'm pretty consistent over the last couple of years. I started this a couple years ago. I can't tell you I've been doing it for 10, 20 years. I made the mistake of talking, just on a crazy level of free agents before even the period started, and then you find out all these guys are off the board. But I wanted to have a little fun, and because you guys and ladies out there love to talk, some Dolphins football, and you want to talk about what free agents could we get, those kind of things, I said, all right, let me try to do a little homework and figure out just a couple guys that are at least realistic, right? Things that Miami needs in a big-time way, and we all know they need to get after the quarterback, correct? Like they must get after that quarterback and sack his ass. And especially, which I'm praying, Tom Brady comes back to the Patriots, okay? Because it was so sweet knocking Tom Brady's ass out in Week 17 and making that bitch play in the wild card. That was awesome. And the next step is for the Dolphins and their team to bury the crap out of Brady and Belichick and take over the damn division. I don't want Brady to run away and go to Tennessee. I want him to stay here. And if he wants to stay in football for the next 2 or 3 years, what he's going to witness is the Dolphins taking over the damn division. But anyway, so I figured I'd give you 2 names of guys that are realistic, okay? Because that's the key. Let's have some realism in all of this, all right? Arik Armstead is a kid that had 10 sacks for the San Francisco 49ers. That's right, Myron. We're coming for you, baby. We're going to take one of your guys. So the Niners, by the way, they got to sign DeForest Buckner, who's a better player. They got to sign, I don't know, some tight end by the name of George Kittle. That guy's like pretty good. It's like Kittle or Kelsey. I don't know which one's the best in the NFL, right? You might go Kittle because he actually can block over Kelsey. But anyway, whatever. And they only have $13 million in cap space. By the way, safety Jimmy Ward also wants money, and they've got to bring back Emmanuel Sanders, which they traded for him. So they've got to justify the draft pick by not renting him for a month. They got to bring him back. $13 million. I don't know. Bill, you're pretty good in math. DeForest Buckner, Kittle, Jimmy Ward, Emmanuel Sanders, Arik Armstead. Can that take care of all the
salaries are at? That's one guy.
Buckner. Okay. So Armstead, I think, will be available in free agency. That's a guy the Dolphins need to target. That's a guy that is realistic for the Miami Dolphins. And I would love to see him here because they need somebody to put Tom Brady on his ass. The other guy, you're going to play 3-4? Well, I've been a big fan of this guy since he got drafted, Bud Dupree. Bud Dupree had 11 and a half sacks last year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here's a guy, they don't have a ton of money, and TJ Watt is their priority because he's a little better than Bud Dupree. And Bud waited till his last year, his contract year, to kind of have a big year. That's why I would put him second to Armstead because he's realistic, but like he had an all right career. He was kind of, for where he was drafted, you weren't going to be satisfied if he finished his last year the way he had his first couple years. But then he finished his last year, like maybe the light went on, he figured it out, and he had the kind of year that he's supposed to have. And now you're hoping he starts to play like this from here on out. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but I like him. I think he's got a world of talent, Bud Dupree. That would be another guy that if you're the Dolphins, you could look at and say that might be an option. And again, why are these options? Because these teams are cap-strapped. These teams have other priorities, especially the Niners. The Niners are so freaking loaded. That's the part that sucks with success, right? Because while you're building a team and you end up having success, you're having success because a lot of players are playing well. And then eventually all those players feel, well, hell, man, I'm the reason why you're also winning. Well, you got to pay me, and you got to pay me, and you got to pay me, and you got to pay me. And there just isn't enough money. And it doesn't matter how much the cap goes up or any of that, because the salaries go up at the same time as the cap goes up. Here's Dak Prescott going, $33 million? Not enough. I need 37. See, the Cowboys did what the Dolphins normally do, not under Chris Greer, but before Chris Greer. They wait till the contract's expired, and now they want to sign the guy. And they normally don't do that with all the other guys they've signed them, but they waited for Dak Prescott's contract to expire. Now you put yourself in an impossible position. Now you either have to sign them at their terms, that they know what terms are going to be available to them in free agency, because somebody out there will overpay for them, or you got to franchise him. And then that takes up a hard number in your cap that you're not able to play and fudge with the signing bonus and break it down over the life of the contract. You don't get to do that. So if the tag is $32 million, it's 32 hard cap numbers there. See, they could sign Dak to a contract now, and his first-year number could be like $10 million because they can finagle it and backload the contract. But you'll eventually pay for it, but they'll backload it down, and they'll, we'll have more cap space down the line, so we can accommodate it in there. It's a little easier, that kind of thing. So, yeah. Now, if Miami is going to get a free agent, those two guys are interesting cats because they are realistic. Those guys probably will become available. There's I would say a 95% chance those guys are available. Armstead would be my top target if I'm the Dolphins. That would be one that I would like for them to actually acquire.